hopefully I can help some people. It's not a story just about the Kardashians or drugs. It's really a story of triumph.
Do you know that some of Hollywood's biggest black stars have battled hidden struggles with sex addiction? From shocking revelations to personal redemption, their stories are as jaw-dropping as they are eye-opening. Stick around to uncover the lives of 25 celebrities whose private battles prove that fame and fortune don't shield anyone from addiction. Number 25, Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is famous for his great talent in golf and is one of the most recognizable athletes in the world. In 2009, his reputation took a hit, though, when allegations of cheating came out, revealing a negative side to his life. There are many reports about his relationships with various women, which caused his marriage to fall apart. The news surprised everyone, especially since Tiger was seen as a model of efficiency and self-control. People quickly reacted. Tiger openly apologized and admitted that he had started a program for sex addiction therapy. He never directly said what his diagnosis was, but his actions, the seeking help and facing the consequences of his behavior, showed that he realized he needed to improve. This change in his personal life also impacted his work. He lost sponsorships, and his performance in golf suffered for years. Tiger made a strong comeback to golf, though, despite facing challenges. He won the Masters in 2019 and showed he was still very talented. But if Tiger Woods surprised you, wait until you hear about Kanye West's journey, because his story starts in the most unexpected way. Number 24, Kanye West. Kanye West is known for his bold opinions and creative music. He has openly discussed his struggles with pornography and being overtly sexual. He started using drugs at a young age after finding an adult magazine that his father had let out. This episode changed how he looked at relationships and closeness, setting the stage for the difficulties he would encounter as an adult. Kanye's problems with drugs grew worse as he became more famous. He often mentioned feeling stuck in a cycle of desires that impacted his feelings and career decisions. The death of his mother, Donda West, made his struggles worse and left him searching for ways to cope with his sadness. Kanye mentioned that during this time, sex became a way for him to escape and deal with his personal struggles, but it was harmful. Kanye has talked about how his addiction is similar to the harmful habits seen in most rock musicians, and he has mentioned how this affects his mental and emotional health in a bad way. Even though he was successful, this tension made him feel empty and alone, leading him to desire change. Kanye has recently started using Christianity as a source of support for his recovery. His spiritual journey has largely focused on his Sunday service events, where prayer and gospel music come together. Kanye believes that his new faith has helped him regain control of his life. He acknowledges that he still faces temptation, but believes his spiritual growth has helped him avoid bad habits and focus on more positive choices. Kanye's story shows how early experiences can shape someone's future, but Eric Benet's battle brings a new perspective rooted in emotional healing. Number 23, Eric Benet. Talented R&B singer Eric Benet gained a lot of public notice when he was married to actress Halle Berry. Once seen as a strong pair in Hollywood, their relationship ended due to Benet's cheating. Later, Benet explained that his actions were linked to a struggle with sex addiction, which came from a deep need for emotional acceptance. Benet explained that his addiction was a way to deal with feelings of sadness that he didn't fully understand, not just a way to seek pleasure. After getting divorced in 2005, he worked hard to solve his issues. He went to therapy and joined a rehab program to understand why he acted the way he did and to build better habits. Benet gradually rebuilt his life by being dedicated and reflecting on himself. He changed how he approached relationships, got remarried, and focused on creating a strong family. His willingness to openly talk about his struggles has helped break the stigma around sex addiction and encouraged important conversations about mental health and recovery. Eric's road to recovery is inspiring, but Mike Tyson's journey is a whirlwind of chaos and redemption. His story is not one to miss. Number 22, Mike Tyson. Famous fighter Mike Tyson, recognized for his strength in the ring, has also faced personal struggles outside of it. One of his difficulties was sex addiction, which Tyson openly talked about in his autobiography. He mentioned that his addiction began when he was young and became worse as he became famous, which led to a very unhealthy lifestyle. Tyson's fame brought him many temptations, and he easily gave in to them. He admitted that his sexual experiences often went hand in hand with using drugs. These acts impacted his personal relationships and led to legal issues, making his life more complicated beyond just being a boxer. Tyson began seeing a doctor for his problems in the late 1990s. His path to recovery was difficult, but with help from his family and therapy, he found security. Tyson focuses on improving himself and uses his experiences to alert others about the dangers of addiction. If Tyson's tale of struggle and strength caught your attention, Chris Brown's story adds a modern twist to this narrative of addiction and fame. Number 21, Chris Brown. Chris Brown is famous for being a talented singer and dancer, but his personal life, has often received more attention than his work. People speculated about his struggles with hypersexuality because his relationships were often dramatic and intense. Chris has faced a lot of abuse for his controversial lifestyle and public relationships. Brown's past influenced how he acted. Growing up, he was exposed to hypersexuality, which influenced how he viewed closeness. These habits built up over time and made it hard to maintain good relationships. Chris hasn't said he's a sex addict, but his actions suggest there are deeper issues. Chris Brown's challenges set the stage, but Bobby Brown's story takes us deeper into a whirlwind of fame, addiction, and redemption. Number 20, Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown, the former frontman of New Edition and a solo R&B star, is well known for his fame and controversies. While his struggles with drug use often made the headlines, his battle with sex addiction received less public notice. Bobby frankly said he led an extravagant life during his prime years in the 1980s and 1990s. As Bobby became more famous, he faced temptation. The attention from women became another way for him to escape. He said his drug addiction was a way to cope with his mental emptiness. To deal with being famous, he used sex as a way to cope, but it also caused chaos in his personal life. Infidelity affected his marriage to Whitney Houston, who was one of the most famous figures in the business. Bobby accepted that a big reason for the problems in his marriage was his failure to be faithful. As time went on, Bobby began to experience bad changes in his life. After Whitney quickly passed away, he reflected on his choices and wanted to make changes. Since then, he has focused on rebuilding his life, putting his family and staying sober first. From Bobby Brown's turbulent journey, we turn to Jada Pinkett Smith, whose battle with sex addiction reveals a story of deep emotional introspection. Number 19, Jada Pinkett Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith, known for her talent and elegance, surprised many when she opened up about her struggles with sex addiction on Red Table Talk. Jada reflected on her younger years and mentioned a binge mentality that impacted many areas of her life, not just her sex life. She said she dealt with tough problems by shutting down her thoughts through sex. Jada's addiction came from a need to feel in control and her mental pain. She said that her actions became uncontrollable, leading to a pattern of short-term pleasure followed by feelings of nothingness. Realizing how much it was hurting her life, she chose to quit completely. Jada understood why she acted compulsively by looking inward and dealing with her past issues. Even though Jada's journey was difficult, she succeeded in the end. She helped change the negative attitudes about sex addiction by openly talking about her struggles, which encouraged others to confront their own issues. She uses her platform today to encourage discussions about personal growth and mental health. If Jada's introspection resonates, Wilt Chamberlain's unapologetic approach to his lifestyle presents a vastly different perspective. Number 18, Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain was not only famous for his skills on the basketball court, but also for his interesting life outside of it. In his 1991 book, A View from Above, Wilt claimed he had slept with over 20,000 women. Although he never labeled himself as a sex junkie, The extremely high numbers suggested he had an obsessive behavior. Wilt fully accepted this part of his life because his looks and fame drew people to him. Wilt proudly embraced his way of life, unlike others who sought to understand or change their behavior. For him, his constant relationships showed who he was and what he wanted, rather than just filling an emotional void. Psychologists and others have debated whether Wilt's behavior was due to his circumstances or if it was caused by an addiction. His comments have started discussions about the pressures of being a celebrity and how it can make certain actions more noticeable. Wilt's story of indulgence stands in stark contrast to Jennifer Lewis, whose battle with sex addiction intertwined with her mental health struggles. Number 17, Jennifer Lewis. Famous actor Jennifer Lewis, known as the mother of Black Hollywood, has faced personal challenges despite her amazing performances. In her book, Jennifer mentioned that her struggles with sex addiction were greatly affected by her uncontrollable bipolar disorder. For years, she used sex to avoid dealing with her emotions, looking for short-lived comfort in temporary relationships. Jennifer described her younger self as someone who always grabbed attention, both on stage and off. The thrill she looked for in close relationships often felt just as exciting as her shows. She also acted this way to deal with her pain, which she didn't know how to manage. She began to understand the bigger issues causing her addiction only after getting treatment and being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Jennifer took control of her life after years of treatment and medication. She now openly shares her experiences to promote mental health understanding and break the stigma surrounding sex addiction. Jennifer's journey highlights the complexity of addiction, which Nicole Narain's candid story sheds light on, while Nicole Narain's candid story sheds light on the daily battles of recovery. Number 16, Nicole Narain. Former Playboy model Nicole Narain has openly talked about her struggles with sex addiction, sharing an honest look at the condition. For Nicole, her addiction became more than just a habit. It turned into an overwhelming necessity. She shared about times when her urges kept her from getting out of bed and how her addiction impacted every part of her life. Her compulsions took over her life, leading her to ignore basic needs like eating during her toughest moments. Nicole began therapy when she understood her behavior couldn't continue. She sought help and worked hard to identify and avoid things that made her illness worse. Nicole's honesty about the challenges of healing has highlighted a problem that is often hidden by shame. Nicole's raw vulnerability leads us to Lamar Odom, whose battle with sex addiction intertwined with substance abuse and redemption. Number 15, Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom, the former NBA player, is familiar with being in the spotlight and facing personal challenges. In his book Darkness to Light, Lamar revealed that he has been with over 2,000 women and admitted to cheating on his ex-wife, Khloe Kardashian, multiple times. Lamar said that his sex addiction was closely linked to his drug use, creating a loop that he found very hard to escape. As coping tools, Lamar turned to drugs and sex, feeding each other in a risky spiral. His deeds ended his marriage and nearly cost him his life. Lamar's near-fatal overdose in 2015 was a turning point for him when he hit rock bottom. Wanting to change his life, Lamar began getting help for his habits in rehab. He has faced challenges, but he is still committed to staying sober and improving himself. Lamar Odom's story of redemption is inspiring, but R. Kelly's fall from grace takes us into one of the most shocking tales in modern entertainment. Number 14, R. Kelly. R. Kelly was once known as the king of R&B. He became famous around the world with his hit songs, incredible singing, and talent for creating music. Songs like I Believe I Can Fly and Ignition made him well known, but behind his great success was sinister and disruptive behavior that would finally ruin his career. Kelly faced many years of accusations of sexual misconduct and abuse. But these claims reached their highest point in the late 2010s when survivors began to tell their stories openly. The 2019 documentary, Surviving R. Kelly, looked at years of accusations against him, including abusing young girls, lying, and creating what some referred to as a sex cult. These revelations showed a guy whose unhealthy sexual behavior turned into exploitation and illegal actions. Many people have asked whether Kelly's actions were a result of sex addiction or if there was a deeper, more harmful attitude behind them. His acts hurt many people's lives and led to public anger and legal consequences. In 2021, Kelly was found guilty of crimes like bribery and sex trafficking, which was a major step forward in getting justice for his victims. He claims he is innocent, but the evidence and witness statements suggest that he has behaved inappropriately for a long time. This is a major example of someone in music losing their reputation. It shows how being powerful and famous for a long time can let someone avoid facing consequences. If R. Kelly's shocking downfall gripped you, well, Elizabeth Taylor's search for love and validation in a glittering Hollywood career offers a fascinating contrast. Number 13, Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor, a true Hollywood legend, captivated the world with her talent, beauty, and strong performances on screen. She became a very famous actor in her time and acted in classic films like Cleopatra and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Taylor's personal life was just as amazing as her movies, with 8 marriages to 7 different men. Taylor's strong desire for emotional closeness and love influenced her interactions. Elizabeth had a young romance with Conrad Hilton Jr. and a passionate marriage with Richard Burton. Throughout her life, she often searched for security amid the chaos. She often mentioned that growing up as a child star made her relationships important for handling the pressures of fame and her insecurities. Taylor was open about her flaws, even though her love life may have had many highs and lows. She openly accepted her weaknesses and unashamedly looked for enjoyment, even if it led to public criticism. Her strong spirit and big personality made people love her. Her honesty and kindness impressed her fans. As Elizabeth Taylor's pursuit of love ends, we transition to Frank Sinatra, a man whose charm and struggles with intimacy mirrored his captivating career. Number 12, Frank Sinatra. In mid-20th century America, Frank Sinatra, sometimes known as Old Blue Eyes, was the height of hipness. He became a cultural icon because of his smooth style and gentle voice. His work in music and movies made him a lasting figure in entertainment history. On the outside, he seemed kind, but was actually having a hard time with love and relationships. Sinatra's partnerships were almost as famous as his career. He was married 4 times, and each marriage showed a different side of his personality. His marriage to famous Hollywood star Ava Gardner was especially close. Their intense and dramatic relationship fascinated the public, even though it was filled with jealousy and unfaithfulness. Sinatra often sought approval in his relationships and struggled to maintain stability amid the chaos of his famous lifestyle. The artist's appeal and interest included more challenging topics. His fear of being alone and constant need for emotional support often led him to seek out others, even if it hurt his partners. Sinatra expressed his emotions through his songs, creating some of the most powerful performances ever, even though his personal life was troubled. Sinatra's complexity sets the stage for Clara Bow, whose life as it girl of the 1920s reveals a raw and vulnerable side of early Hollywood. Number 11, Clara Bow. Clara Bow was the first it girl, representing the glamour and boldness of Hollywood in the 1920s. She came from a poor background, but her strong personality in silent films like It and Wings made a big impact during the Roaring '20s. Behind her charming smile and fame, she was a woman facing personal challenges. When Bow was young, she faced abuse and neglect that would hurt her emotionally for a long time. As her fame grew, she sought short relationships to help her cope with her pain. Her romantic relationships often caused controversy, leading to reports in tabloids and making her known as a free-spirited star. Clara struggled with the pressure of being famous. Her past experiences with the stress of the film industry led to mental health issues. Despite these challenges, her impact on Hollywood was clear, shaping what a main lady looks like today. From Clara's rise and fall, we move to Marian Davis, whose life was shaped by her talent and powerful romance. Number 10, Marian Davis. Marian Davis, a famous actor from the silent film era, is recognized for her talent and her friendship with media tycoon William Randolph Hearst. Her movies, like Show People, showed off her talent for comedy, but Hearst, who helped her career, is a big part of her memory. Davis's connection with Hearst influenced how people saw her, even as it provided her with support and opportunities. Their relationship, marked by loyalty and trust, became one of the most talked about couples of Hollywood. Their bond lasted a long time, even if they never got married, and it often overshadowed her personal achievements. As Hollywood's golden age progressed, Davis stepped back from the spotlight and focused on charity work. Her memory includes her work in movies and her help to others. From Marian's partnership-driven career, we turn to Clint Eastwood, whose personal life reflects his larger-than-life persona. Number 9, Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood is one of Hollywood's most enduring stars, recognized for his tough image and strong presence on screen. Clint Eastwood's personal life, though, has been just as active as his tough guy job. Eastwood's love life, which involves 8 children with different women and many well-known relationships, often mirrored the passion of his films. Eastwood had a 14-year relationship with actress Sandra Locke, which was both his longest and most controversial marriage. Their marriage ended in a well-known court battle that showed Eastwood's complicated personal issues. Although he was charming, his relationships usually involved cheating and difficulty with commitment. From Clint Eastwood's rugged complexity, we move to Rick James, whose life of excess defined a wild era in music. Number 8, Rick James. Rick James, known as the super freak of funk, lived a life filled with both wealth and rebelliousness. James embodied the flashy lifestyle of rock and roll with his eye-catching shows and catchy beats. With wild parties and scandals sometimes dominating the headlines, his drug and sex addiction became as renowned as his music. James described how his addictions supported each other, creating a cycle that led to legal troubles and emotional issues. One of his most infamous incidents damaged his image due to allegations of kidnapping and assault. Even though he was talented, his lifestyle overshadowed his singing success. James attempted to improve his life later on, but years of bad habits seriously impacted his health and reputation. Rick James's wild life leads to Eddie Murphy, a comic legend with a complex personal story. Number 7, Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy has been a well-known performer for many years. Murphy's work shows his talent, starting from Saturday Night Live to major movies like Coming to America and Beverly Hills Cop. People are often just as interested in his personal life as they are in his acting, though. Murphy's relationships, including raising 10 children with different women, have led to stories about his personal struggles. He hasn't publicly said he's a sex addict, but his many relationships and rumored affairs have been in the news quite a bit. Murphy has faced some issues, including a controversial situation in the late 1990s, but he has generally kept his personal life private. Murphy has remained a strong figure in Hollywood, overcoming challenges. He continues to give acclaimed performances and has made a comeback lately. Eddie Murphy's unique personality highlights Ray J's story of trouble and change. Number 6, Ray J. Ray J is a multifarious entertainer most well known for his songs and reality TV outings. Songs like One Wish made him popular at first, but he became even more famous after the tape with Kim Kardashian. This situation made him constantly think about his personal life, particularly his sexual experiences. Ray J has been in several famous relationships during his career, many of which have had a lot of drama and public backlash. His marriage to Princess Love was a big part of love and hip-hop Hollywood, where millions watched their struggles and success. Conflicts and claims of cheating fueled stories about his struggles with being overly sexual and staying committed. Ray J hasn't publicly said he's a sex addict, but his behavior has led to some speculation. Ray J has been focusing on business projects and personal growth recently. Raycon, his tech business, has gained attention for its success, showing that he is working to create a more reliable public image. He has emphasized his duties as a husband and father, working to improve relationships and focusing on family life as his main concern. From Ray J's tumultuous journey, we turn to Terry Crews, whose candid revelations about addiction have inspired countless others. Number 5, Terry Crews. Terry Crews, known for his funny parts and big personality, surprised fans when he admitted to struggling with pornography. His confession revealed a personal struggle that nearly jeopardized his marriage to Rebecca King Crews. What started in his teenage years grew more intense as he became well known and developed into an addiction that affected his relationships and mental clarity. Crews talked about his problem, saying it was a strong urge that made him feel embarrassed and trapped. He hid it for years because he was afraid of criticism and what might happen. He only went to therapy after Rebecca asked him about how he was acting. Attending therapy and joining support groups, he started a difficult road towards recovery. Terry's honesty about his struggles has inspired others to face their own issues. He believes it's important to get treatment for addiction and to break the stigma around it, supporting open discussions about the problem. Crews says that saving his marriage and strengthening his desire to live were important for his healing. As Terry's story inspires hope, Bill Cosby's legacy reveals the devastating consequences of unchecked power and predatory behavior. Number 4, Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was once celebrated as America's dad for his role on The Cosby Show. Now, he is seen as an example of the dangers of power, wealth, and abuse. For many years, Cosby was a positive influence in the entertainment business, breaking race stereotypes in Hollywood. His image was ruined when allegations of sexual assault spanning over 50 years came to light. Many women accused Cosby of drugging and assaulting them, often while he pretended to be helping them. He denied the accusations, but their repeated nature indicated a concerning pattern. Cosby's 2018 conviction for sexual assault is an important movement in the #MeToo movement and holds a key to individual accountability. Critics have debated whether Cosby's behavior showed a strong desire for control or was similar to an addiction. His actions broke the trust and respect he had built over many years and caused lasting harm to many women. From Cosby's downfall, we shift to Shaquille O'Neal, whose personal revelations about fidelity provide a starkly different narrative. Number 3, Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal is well known for being great at basketball, but he has also been in the news for his personal life. The NBA star, known for more than just his sports talent, has openly shared his struggles with honesty. Shaquille O'Neal's marriage to Shawnee O'Neal ended in 2011. He admitted that one of the main reasons for their split was his cheating. Shaquille said that he made those decisions because he had too many options and not enough self-control. A global superstar's lifestyle and constant temptations created a setting that made it hard to stay faithful. Shaq, who is famous and rich, has praised Shawnee for her courage and for being a good co-parent. He also feels guilty about the pain he caused his family. Shaq has worked hard for many years to improve his relationship and focus on personal growth. By showing his human side and being honest about his mistakes, he has gained support from many people. From Shaq's honest admissions, we turn to Usher, whose publicized relationships have often overshadowed his musical legacy. Number 2, Usher. Usher, a major figure in R&B whose music has shaped many years, is facing public criticism for both his personal life and his work achievements. Usher is famous for songs like Confessions and Yeah, and he is very talented. His relationships and scandals have occasionally made him look bad, though. One of Usher's biggest incidents involved court cases where he was accused of not telling his lovers that he had had a sexually transmitted infection. Even though he said nothing about the claims, they led to rumors about his choices and behavior. His difficult split from Tamika Foster made his romantic struggles more public. Despite these challenges, Usher has maintained his status as an R&B star and continues to make new songs. He focuses on family and personal growth and has taken on his role as a father. As Usher's journey of power concludes, Kevin Hart's path of humor and redemption takes center stage. Finally, number 1, Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is a big name in comedy, and while his personal life hasn't always been easy, he has built a career on making people laugh. When Hart admitted to cheating while his wife Nicole Parrish was pregnant, he faced a lot of public backlash. The blackmail attempt nearly ruined his marriage and caused a lot of mental stress. Hart has been truthful about his mistakes, saying they were due to bad judgment and the pressures that come with being famous. Even though he hasn't said he's a sex addict, his actions suggest he has deeper issues with managing his impulses and understanding himself. Hart is dedicated to fixing his marriage, attending treatment, and openly sharing his journey of growth. Hart uses his personal struggles in his entertainment to help himself cope. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Click on the next video on your screen to keep exploring fascinating stories.